What's up, Tommy Kerrigan? Been a minute since
What's going on, dude? Jesus fuck, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, for everyone listening, yeah, Marcus and I knew each other. For my dad's job brought us from Atlanta, Georgia to Portland, Maine in 2007. I was
yeah,
there for a full school year. But
yeah,
yeah,
dude. You had hair like this.
I had hair down here. I was about 200 pounds of muscle. And
Yeah,
I hated everything.
yeah. You're the weird kid in class who bonded with me, who was the also other weird kid in homeroom.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, because you were like the first person I met, because it was Cardona and Kerrigan, CAR. I remember
Yeah, dude.
singing, was it Swanson? Was that the science teacher's name? Swanee? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I remember it was
Yeah,
just you to my left, and I remember it was Ed Canerney to my right.
dude.
And I was just like, and I was just like, it was like my first day, and I was like talking to you, and you were just like laughing at everything I was saying. I was like, okay, he's cool. And I looked at Ed Canerney, and I was just trying to make small talk, and I was just like, yeah, man, I'm from Atlanta. And he was like, oh, yeah, man, okay. And I was like, what the fuck? And shout out Ed Canerney. But like,
Ed Canerney,
yeah,
fucking legend.
Canerney, yeah, dude. Yeah, man, I remember it was like the first day, and it's, Atlanta, it's the South. What I found, man, living in the North and the South is truly everyone is the same. It's just in the South, they put on a facade of manners. In the North, they just don't even bother with the bullshit.
Dude, yeah, I feel like that. I have I made a lot of good friends with like a lot of Southern people, but I think it's just like Southern Southern hospitality versus
Yeah,
New England hospitality is like both different kinds of
it's
mentalities.
I would say they're the same. It's just the South bothers with some bullshit topping that you put on, and that eventually you wears off. The North, they just get right to it, and it's just like they don't waste.
Dude, life is short. Life is short in New England, man. That's why
Yeah,
we're all like we cut through to the raw
yeah.
shit.
Well, I remember, dude, because it was again my first day, and I remember I was at my locker, and I was just like, okay, I was pissed off at the world, just like, God damn it, all my friends are in Atlanta. This is like the fifth time I had moved in 10 years, and I was just pissed off. And I remember like Hayden Peterson walked by me, but I didn't even know who he was at the time because
Yeah.
I'm brand new. And I remember I just kind of smiled, and I just remember he went, "What are you looking at, pussy?" And I was like, I wanted to cry, man. I was like, fuck this place. But then,
Dude, and the thing is, like, you were jacked, so Hayden Pierce is just like the scrawny kid coming up to you.
And he was just like, "What are you looking at, pussy?" And I was like, again, coming from Atlanta. But as time went on and I became friends with everyone, I realized I was like, that's just how you talk. So
Yeah,
he's not a baby back bitch. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's the same as like, what's up, dude, in Atlanta. But yeah, man, dude, that's man, I left there in March 2008. And
Okay, yeah, right before graduation. Okay, cool.
yeah,
So yeah, because you were there for like a year, right?
yeah, and then I went back down to Atlanta and I stayed down there for a while. But yeah, so I saw you on Instagram. I was like, oh fuck, Marcus is a comedian. And I was like, hey man, that just means that he's got to be as fucked up and weird as me. I was like, hey man, you want to do my podcast? You're like, fuck yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
Dude, hell yeah, Tommy, dude.
Yeah, blink of an I haven't talked to you in 12 years. Hey man, you want to do my podcast? Sure thing. I was like, fuck yeah, Marcus. That's my introduction for you. If you would like to introduce yourself, you're my friend Marcus Cardona and a comedian, and I believe New York.
Yeah. I'm in Maine right now, but yeah, I was based in Brooklyn. I've been doing comedy since 2011, so almost 9 years. It's gonna be December, 9 years, and then yeah, it's been a whole trip. Originally from Buxton, Maine, and then yeah, I moved down to Brooklyn probably like 2013, 2014. So like 2 years after it, because I was like my options were I either go Boston or I go to New York City.
Yeah.
And then like the other option was Atlanta. I thought about it because I wanted to stay East Coast, but I'm just like deep. Like everyone was telling me like, oh, dude, I'm like, have you done enough black rooms? I'm like, no. I was like, well, you're gonna get like a real culture shock. And then Boston was too white. So then I just went for New York because I'm like, okay, that's a nice medium where you could figure it out. But then like once I was in New York, I gravitated towards like black rooms in general because I'm like it's interesting because I'm like like I'd say like Brooklyn and like New York like black rooms are different from Atlanta black rooms because I'm like it's just like hot down in Atlanta. I'm like you need black people who've experienced winter, and then there's like I'm like they get me because I'm also dark, and I'm like what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're halfway there. Yeah, man. If you haven't been down to Georgia, man, that is a culture shock and a fucking half. Dude, it was a culture shock going from Georgia to Maine.
Oh yeah. Oh, the lack of diversity. You're just
Yeah,
like
exactly. Dude, I remember it might have been you. It might have been, I think it was Anthony DeFilippo. He was like, "You're from Atlanta?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you see Usher?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. It's just all 5 million of us. We're just buddies. We all fucking walk by each other every. What the fuck,
dude. Hey, I've been to Atlanta, dude. Strip club culture is like, it's a real. I was like that. I was like, no, there's nothing like strip club culture. And then I went to do a comedy show at a strip club, and I'm just like, this is weird.
It is.
I'm like, it's just so casual too. I'm just like, see, I'm like, I would be a sinner for going to a strip club, and I'm just like, this is just an afternoon, man. Like we start here, then we just go out.
Yeah, at least you didn't get. The difference between where I went to school, my first 2 years of college, Valdosta State University, eventually transferred to UGA, which is like a normal big school. Valdosta State, which is 7 hours south of Atlanta.
That's rural, right? Rural Atlanta?
Atlanta is
rural Georgia, I mean.
Atlanta is more similar to Portland than Valdosta is to Atlanta. Holy fucking shit. I mean, for the sake of not getting my YouTube channel pulled, I'm just not going to repeat the shit I heard down there. But I mean, it was a time capsule from 1865. Let's just put it that way.
Dude, I heard the KKK has like the best barbecues. That's how they recruit.
Probably, man. Oh man, those white power guys. I mean, they're fucked up. But goddamn, they could cook and throw a party. I mean. Yeah, you've never lived until you've been out in the sun in like a square mile of mud with a bunch of sorority girls. It's experience and a half, man. But goddamn, once you leave, it's time to leave. I mean, segregation is alive and well down there. It is, I'm not kidding, dude. I am not kidding.
I believe it, man. Dude, I hear from all the Southern comics, and it subtly like creeps out. I'm just like, how does that happen?
It starts to come out a little bit. You kind of hear M-bombs, just hard R, just casual, and you're like, whoa. You're like, all right. It's kind of like a bullet cracking by you. You're like, okay, all right, we're getting shot at. You're like, okay.
No, that's just the South, man. The South will rise.
Yeah, exactly. South will rise again. Yeah, and then I had the nerve to like while I was joining a fraternity in the Deep South, which is that's a step away from the KKK.
Yeah. Wait, do you have a brand? Because I remember that. I was in a fraternity too, but it was just a party. Like we were a social fraternity, and then like we didn't have a house. We were just like delinquents.
Dude, I thought that's what it was gonna be. I was like, I'm just gonna join. I don't know anyone here. It's just gonna be fun. Fuck no, dude. I'm glad I went through with it just because it's an experience and a half, and I feel like it's gonna be as absurd to tell my grandkids, just like us hearing World War II stories. It's like that socially backwards. But yeah, man, dude, a lot of the frats down there, they did brand. Fucking and not even on your ass. Like it was like you had to show it. You'd see all these guys just like it was dark, man. It was
dude. That's the price for friendship. That's long lasting. Those are going to be half of them are like I know guys who join the fraternities and like they have the brands and stuff like that, but they're definitely still like side by side. Like I know dudes who should have been bankrupt like several times. I'm like they had the fraternity to fall back on. I'm like all right, that makes sense.
No, I mean. I fucking hated hearing it during pledgeship. They were like, "You're gonna be friends with these guys forever." I just remember thinking, I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna transfer to UGA, get the fuck out of this backwards ass Clanville." But, to be fair, there are several guys that I am in touch with. I mean, to this day.
Hey, dude, when the resource wars happen, you gotta have the guys with the guns and the trucks. So
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing is, dude, North and South shitting on each other. I don't think they realize just how similar they are.
Yeah.
Valdosta is the same thing as like northern New Hampshire. It's just one has corn, one has snow.
Oh yeah, no,
trucks and like.
Oh yeah. New Hampshire is like wildly Republican, while like Maine is liberal, Vermont is liberal.
Yeah.
Pockets in Massachusetts are like mix of both and everything like that. Like.
Yeah, that again, living in Atlanta, Portland, Valdosta, New Hampshire, people don't realize is that. The rural areas are all the same. It's just temperature and accents. Urban areas, for the most part, are the same. They're just temperatures and accents. Just like is really it. I would say it's all cities I've lived in are generally more liberal. and all rural areas I've lived in are generally just fucking insane. Just like it really is. Like you're out of the city limits. Like, dude, there was a guy in my fraternity, Grant Merritt, whose grandfather or great grandfather like passed away, and when he passed away, it was in his will that he had this like ornate chest that had been in his, and they live on these, they legitimately live
Hell
on these
yeah.
like pieces of land that have been in the family for generations. Like that shit's true. Like it's like Django Unchained shit. And this was in like 2010, and Grant was from a small town with no streetlights called Coffee. It was literally called Coffee, and they
Hell
had
yeah, that's what's up.
he had a pet alligator and a pet deer. They both had dog collars. It was the deer's name was Jesus, and the alligator was Elvis. But I remember, yeah,
Yeah, that's how rural you can get a dog and a gator.
no, a deer and a gator. He had a deer. I remember he's like, come here, but it was so weird because his family ran a deer skinning like plant, so he had this.
What? So like taxidermy or like
no?
All
like,
they did was
like skin and like butcher. Like
okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
It was weird that he had this pet deer. It was literally yeah. So anyway, we went out there, man, and I remember his like grandfather had passed away like a week prior, and it was like in his grandpa's will, it's like I want you guys to like you can have this like chest, and it was really ornate, like sterling silver. Like,
this straight up sounds like the beginning of like a journey of self-discovery. So yeah. He gets this chest.
Yeah, and it's I remember Grant says like, yeah, man, it was like had like velvet and stuff. It had like the family like tree inscribed on it, and they're like, what is it? And they opened it up, and in like the 1920s, Grant's great grandfather was the number one. He was the head of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, he was the Grand Wizard.
The Grand Dragon.
Grand Dragon. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot Dragon and Wizard.
In the chest was the ascension of all the robes he had as he could run through the ranks, and it was only in Georgia would you be like, I knew Grandpappy was a hustler, and it was like only in Georgia can you be proud of that. Like,
yeah.
He made it. I was just like, oh my god.
Wait, so did he open it up, or was he like, hey guys, you guys want to see this chest or something?
No. He didn't show us.
Oh,
his family opened it up because it was in the will. Because everyone knew what the thing was, and it was just like they figured heirlooms or something. And once he passed, I guess because it was like 2010, he was like, I can't have this shit open while I'm still alive. They found out. Yeah.
No, if that was the granddads, like that there's still family members who just have to be like, oh my god, no way, or some of them are just like what?
Yeah,
no,
yeah. I knew it. Yeah. But like, I think they gave it to there's like a history museum in Georgia. I think they donated it because it was like that, rare of shit. It was like all these like it was like woven cords, and it was almost like it was just like rising through the military, right?
Yeah.
But it's really
it's weird. It's kind of like, if anything, like a cult member, or like even because like I've met like obviously it's like shameful if you like continue it, but it's like if you've like ranked like, because I know people who've left like not even like groups like that, not even like fascist groups like that, where it's just like let's just say like the Hasidic Jewish, like I know a lot of Jewish people who've like left super like Orthodox traditional like Jewish cultures, and I'm like their like families like top tier, like they had like access to like all the like respect and money and stuff like that, but just like we're just not going to continue it, and it's just like a weird like thing to carry. Just same thing with like I've known people whose grandparents have been like Nazi generals or something like that, and I was just like,
it's
I'm like weird.
It's absolutely an interesting piece of history.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, I mean, my great uncle, he fucking killed Nazis on D-Day. I mean, he had like daggers and stuff. They took off bodies and stuff, and I remember seeing that stuff in middle school, and it was, like you can't deny like the historical value of it. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, here's this thing, and it's literally got like a prayer in German, and you'll die for the Fuhrer, and it's like. It's despicable, and thank God that they're all gone. But you can't deny the piece of history. It's just definitely good. Yeah, it's definitely good that I can say like, oh no, my family wasn't them. They killed me. Like, even if my grandpa was like a Nazi, the history is interesting. Definitely like stop it. Definitely. We're not doing it anymore. We got the flag. We're not doing that anymore. Like, yeah, man, I definitely get it, but fuck yeah. So culture shock to save the lead down there.
Yeah. The comment section's gonna be super weird. I hope this doesn't get used against me in comedy. Like, comedian endorses.
No, comedian. KKK. No, man. It'd probably be good. Probably be good PR. It's yeah. What's it like being because it's we're in a time of like touchiness and like politically correctness that like even South Park couldn't imagine 5 years ago.
Yeah. Dude, and they've like dug itself, and I don't know, it's
what's it like comedy, man? How would I feel like you got from clearly I'm not a comedian, so I don't know, but I feel like there's one of two paths. It's either you like bend the knee and like try to like dodge all like, buzzwords and pronouns, or you just like, I don't know, you put on the KKK mask and just light the torches and be like, I'm just gonna say whatever, and like, because comedy is controversial. What is that like?
Like the notoriety and stuff like that for comedy. I mean, it depends on how good you are at like buffering like subject matter, because I definitely like, there's definitely like rooms that are just like, oh, don't bring up Marcus, he'll talk about political stuff or anything like that. And I'm just like, there's not that many, especially in like New York. New York is a very commercialized, like quickest route to success. So a lot of the comedians there are just, they won't really push the boundary as much, just so that way their careers can like, like if someone's like marked a safe comedian, they'll usually get booked a bunch, because I'm like, oh no, he'll never rub an audience member wrong. Sure. But then if you get like a good comedian, then like, they'll like go in depth rather than like, make like a small like, joke about, Nazis or something like that. Or like, like small things like that, small like racial jabs and stuff like that. If you can do like an in-depth, like, longer set, like 5 minutes on like one subject matter. Like, I have a joke about interracial relationships, and I'm like, the joke that I do is I cushion it a bunch with, I make it focused on having tension for a relationship, because I'm like, oh, like, I like interracial relationships because like, you get to see like that things that everyone hates about each other fall apart. But, as I've gotten older, I realize you need some kind of tension to keep a relationship together. And I'm like, sexual tension fades real quick, but racial tension is a pretty good substitute. And then audiences get tight about that. Like, no matter what, the audience gets tight about it. And then there's like a second jab in that joke where I'm like, if you have trouble laughing at that joke, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That is good, man.
And then I try justifying it with more material, because I'm like I was hooking up with a Filipino girl, and she's like, I want you to choke me. I'm doing it. I'm like, can't do it for the culture. And I'm like, a white girl asked me to choke her, and I'm like, oh my God, have I always been a monster? And I'm like, what's fueling this? And I'm like, all I did was think about like all the white women who voted for Trump, and it was like at least 52% more pressure. Because like that's like a lot of joke with like a lot of cushioning, because you got to like ease like sometimes when you have a punchline, it's easy to joke about anything in like a short amount of time. Sure. Like you could touch on like every offensive like subject matter by just doing like one line, like, you could just keep going through them really quick. But if you go in depth a bit, like even though it's a dark subject matter, or I consider it edgy or politically incorrect,
sure,
as long as you cushion it right, that you can like just try justifying it. Because all I had to do to make that joke about joking white girls is being like, oh no, I want a relationship that lasts, but you need some kind of tension. Then I'm like, interracial relationships, and I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. And then the 52% one is just like, hey, you guys did it. That's not me.
I was gonna say, you could, as you said that, I was like, man, you could weave in an OJ. You could weave in an OJ reference in there. White girls.
Yeah, man, dude. Dude, OJ. Dude, he's not. It's one of those weird ones where you get to see how, like, when you read a room, you get to see how much they're aware of like what's on TV, sure. And it's so hard to like gauge how much an audience like watches the same stuff that you do, because sometimes I perform for younger audiences, and then like I'll make if I do a reference like to OJ Simpson or something like that, half of them just don't care, and I'm like, I'm just like, it's kind of just like because I've done a lot of jokes about like, you know, it's pretty hard being a mom, but you know, you can be the worst mom and the best mom. I'm like, as long as you're not Casey Anthony, you're good. And then sometimes that joke goes over people's heads. I'm like, who? And I'm just like, guys, she killed her kid. She killed her kid.
Killed her kids. Come on, it's the mom that killed her kids. Yeah, was it Jim Norton that was? I think it was Casey. No, it was some other mom that like drowned her kids, and he's.
There's so many bad parents, but Casey Anthony was like the one who like she got away. She got like a porn contract offered to her. There's so many like it was like every controversial case. I'm like, what's the most controversial one of that one? It's the same thing with like wrestling. I'm like, I like the joke I was like trying to write before all this happened was couples who like wrestle. I don't know why they always seem to make it, except Chris Benoit.
Jeez, fuck, dude. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I was gonna say Casey Anthony getting a porn contract. Maybe she was just pushing the envelope. She killed her kids, didn't get fucked by it. I was like, all right, let's go.
Dude, the thing is like, man, I there was a weird thing because like after because they try always justifying like hot people being able to get away with crimes. Yeah. Like OJ has like his score and stuff like that, but then like. I hate all like the Ted Bundy stuff because everyone's like, oh, Ted Bundy was so hot. He was charismatic. I'm like, Ted Bundy attracted weird girls because he was a weird dude. And, like they both deserved each other. Yeah. But then like they did Zac Efron and like, oh no, he was so hot. And I'm like, he's charismatic maybe, but I'm like, hot like Zac Efron. Like everyone in that movie, they casted a way hotter person. I was like, shit.
Yeah, man. Have you ever seen those like weird like romantic obsessions with like the Columbine shooters?
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh man, I love every kind of like cult conspiracy like build up and stuff like that because the Columbine shooters they were just like obsessed with like the major like right now, I think there's like a million cults happening right now because the Columbine shooters were obsessed with like the Matrix and stuff like that. And then they like, I've read a couple manifestos just to be like, maybe he's got some good points. Because I'm like, the Unabomber had great points. I'll say that. Undeniable great points.
You can say what you will. He made a couple eyebrow raisers. Like, I can see it. You know, it's. Yeah, man. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Have you ever read any of their diaries or journals?
Yeah, I've read a couple of them. It's definitely started like has like that incel tone. Like that's it. Like every time I read, like as soon as she started like sounding like an incel, being like, oh, I deserve this because I'm a dude from here and whatever. Then it just becomes like, you ain't shit. Shut up, dude.
Yeah, it makes me think how many of these things could have just been solved with getting laid.
Yeah, or just like, you know, shown like love and then been like, because like no matter what, behind every like school shooter is always like some weird level of like toxic masculinity, being like, oh, you're not a real man. Like I always expect like I always want like them to do a biopic and then like cast people and then just show the relationship with the dad because I'm like it's always rooted like all the school shooters they're always like rooted with like a weird relationship with their dad. Like I have a weird relationship with my dad, but that just turned into stand-up comedy. It's like he was just very absent, but I'm like I think that's just like an immigrant dad thing. And then I'm just like, well, if I can't make him laugh, let's try making everyone else laugh. I'm like, all right, cool.
If no one laughs, I'll just lock and load. Yeah. Yeah. It's where I was leaning towards school shooting, but you know, I got a crack at comedy, and it's been all good since then.
Dude, hey, if you went to an open mic before, like especially like some of them, there's definitely like this weird like, oh god, thank God you found comedy, or else you would have been a school shooter. Thank God. Yeah, thank God you found outlet. Thank you.
Yeah, man. If you're, dude, it kind of is that way. If you're seeing what is it? Is that I think Role Models? That movie?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of school shooters are like, is it Augie, the McLovin character? Augie.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's probably the relationship is like with Augie and his stepdad. Like, yeah, just kind of like you're not a man, go do real stuff. How come you're not chasing Poon? Like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then it turns into like, you know, a fucking real life just start shooting. But like,
you adapt this like hero mentality. Like that's it. Like every mass shooter, mass murderer, they always feel like justified, like they're a hero. They were doing like some higher powers work. They were cleansing the land or some bullshit.
it's never like forgive me for what I'm gonna do or like what I'm doing is terrible. There's never any of that. It's always completely justified in their minds, which is weird. I mean,
Yeah.
Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, that one's kind of sad because like there is one line in there, and it's like early in their manifestos before they just went like straight.
It was like the thesis sentence.
Yeah. No, but there is one line early in their rants before they just went straight up like let's murder, because I was gonna say they went dark, but I mean, how much fucking darker can you go than
it's funny because like after you read it, you could tell it was written by high schoolers. That's like the worst part.
That's the worst part. That is the worst part.
It's like, oh man,
you're still kind of just making fun of it.
The supportive statements are very poorly written. They should have reorganized this. Yeah. And the conclusion was left off, so I get why they grabbed guns.
I thought no citations. Yeah. There's run-on sentences galore. I mean, these kids, they didn't indent anything. Yeah, man, that's kind of the worst part is like if they could look forward 20 years and be like, I wonder what happened with my manifesto and all this. It'd be like, I think they would almost do it again because what's the commentary? You can tell it was written by like edgy teenagers. Like that's all you got out of it. Like I shot kids point blank in the face in a library, and you're like, these edgy teenagers. It is, but like I was gonna say, but yeah, later on in their rantings, they went to like. This is because it was pre 9/11, and it's weird because they were like, "We're gonna come back as demons, and we're gonna fly." Literally, it sounds like a second grader wrote it. We're gonna come back as demons. We're gonna fly around like the netherworld. We're gonna come back into this dimension, and we're gonna hijack planes and fly them into buildings in New York. Yeah. So they definitely went darker, but early on, one of them wrote like no one ever invites me to parties. Like you had my number and you didn't invite me because I'm the weird kid. And I'm like, man, what if he was just invited to a party? Like,
dude, well, everyone always feels like they're justified. Everyone
justified because hey, look, I was the new kid, and look what I did. I just, I just sucked. I got called a pussy. I wasn't invited to parties. I didn't shoot anyone up. I just became friends with you and Ed Kearney, two other kids that may have joined me in a shooting. I'm joking, but yeah, man, you can't. I'm realizing as I say that like, yeah, that's not really a justification because I moved around a lot and it fucking sucked being the new kid.
Yeah, dude, especially like the transfer kid. That's always like it's something about like attachment with like it's attachment like issues and stuff like that because like you'll like learn a sense of community. And then you'll learn a sense of family. But then if you keep moving, then like your sense of like community doesn't get to grow because of like you're constantly like readjusting to everyone else. So the way that you express yourself isn't properly done because like you have to like constantly be like, I made friends and then gone. Yeah. Okay, I gotta reintroduce myself to people and then be like, oh no, and then you just get really spaced out.
It is. I mean, I would say in some senses that's helped me because it's almost like. Wherever there's definitely like a homesick feeling whenever I see friends that like even I remember being at like Cheverus and just like everyone knew each other and it was like everyone hung outside of school. And I was just like, I don't know anything like that because even though I was from Atlanta and all my friends were there, I had only been in Atlanta for like 6 years by the time I moved. So even then it was like there was still this like sense of
and you just got over like freshman and sophomore year and like middle school and stuff like that. So then you're just like jumping into junior year. It's just like everyone got their hormones, everyone got their growth spurts, and you're just like fuck. Everyone kind of knows.
Yeah, and it was just like fuck this. I guess in one way it's helped me. It's that like I have no qualms with like picking up and leaving.
Yeah,
like, I'm not held down to like, well, I was born and raised in Valdosta, Georgia. I can't leave here. I have no problem with like, I'd like to move there. Granted, I live at home and I'm trying to get a podcast going, so it doesn't really work. But if it does work and I get money, like there's nothing holding me back from like, yeah, maybe I'll live in New Hampshire. Maybe I'll go live in fucking Seattle. There's no like, but my roots, like I don't have roots. But it's helped a lot in that I've learned how to make friends very quickly because as you saw at Cheverus, it was like, I came down and it's like, am I going to be here for a decade? Am I going to be here for 7 months? 7 months, gone. And So yeah, there's definitely a benefit to it. You got to just learn how to talk quickly. It's like speed dating. It's like you gotta make friends quick. You gotta make friends quick.
Yeah, you gotta adapt quickly to like changing circumstances really quick.
Yeah, you gotta just throw the spaghetti at the wall and hope a noodle sticks. It's like throw it to my left. Hey, it's Marcus Cardona. You left. Okay, throw it to my right. Ed Kernerney. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Nothing stuck there. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. It's wave to Hayden, you pussy. All right, not there. Keep moving. Keep rolling with the punches. Yeah, man.
That's genius.
Now that I'm saying it, I'm getting less and less sympathy for the Columbine kids. Dude, great friends.
You're just like, yeah, just work on your social skills. Maybe you're the problem, kid.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you're the problem. You know what I do with all that anxiety? I just went to the gym for 2 hours a day. All right?
Yeah.
Manifested itself in a weird way.
Dude. No, well, I feel like no matter what, like you at least have your wheelhouse. Like if you're a smart kid, then like kids would gravitate you. Because I remember seeing you at the gym after school one time, and I'm just like, oh, everyone's asking him for tips because I'm like, he's just jacked as hell. Yeah, and then that's also how I saw you like gain friends, because I'm just like, hey, dude, if you want to fix your form, straighten your back out. I was like,
yeah. I forgot. Yeah, that's how I met the kids in
Joe Harper.
Joe Harper. What the fuck is his name? Papa. Yeah. He'd always borrow my gloves and he'd go deadlift like 1,500 pounds, but he'd only work out like once a month. But he'd come in and like, yo, bro, I need your gloves. But yeah, that is how I met a lot of and but it also helped with like, again, I remember I was like, maybe they won't make fun. I just remember like, I was like, maybe I'll stop getting made fun of and called a pussy if I just go in and like, because at Chever's you have long sleeve button down blazers, you can't really tell any. And I was like, maybe if I just go to the gym in like a tank top and just bench like 300 pounds, they'll stop like picking on me. And it worked. But again, this is just driving me farther and farther away from the Columbine kids. I'm like, go to the gym and just flex nuts. You're not picking up to lift more. And the easy way out is to grab a carbine. Like that's the easy way out. Fuck that, man. Like, fuck that.
Do you listen to or did you ever like get into like Henry Rollins at all? Because I'm like, Henry Rollins was like the perfect like outlet for like any kind of edgy kids. He was the Black Flag like lead singer for years. And then he got super like he got into crazy philosophy because like obviously he was like a rage filled person, but he was like sober, but he was just like one of those angry sober kids. Because I was like it was a weird one. And then he found another outlet through just like lifting weights, because he's just like, oh, this is honesty, because I'm like, everything else is a front. And I'm like, it's true. I'm like, you get some weird kind of like fraternal like connection through that way.
There's definitely some like philosophy in it, and there's it's because with like lifting, it's like I don't lift nearly as much anymore, but it's like when I was obsessed with it, it was like it wasn't like a school project. It wasn't like I put in 90% of the work but only got 10% of the credit. It was like if I go in and bust my ass, like it's like I think Arnold Schwarzenegger said, he's like, that's like the best thing about having a physique. He's like, no one can give it to you, no one can take it away, you can't rent it, you can't buy it. It's like it's like this. Yeah, it is. It's honesty. It's truth. But yeah, man, it's definitely, it's not the answer to all your questions, but it's definitely
a better outlet. I'll say this. I'm like, there's never been someone who's been like gotten jacked and then their life got somehow worse.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. None of these girls want me because I have 8 abs. No, that's never been a problem. That's never been. Maybe if you go on the deep end and start doing steroids, but again, that's a personal thing. Like that's yeah. So as we're saying this, my sympathy has gone down more. Fuck those kids. Fuck those kids. Man.
They should instead of picking up some guns, how about you pick up some 5-pounders?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can
work on that form.
Work on that form, man. You don't need a. Jesus Christ, damn it. But yeah, really, it's that or comedy or like even with like a podcast, I'm finding that like it's a fantastic outlet because it's like I can bring on whoever I want. Like there is no boss, there is no schedule. I can talk about whatever I want, and I can kind of like utilize those skills of just talking to strangers. It's anything that it does lead. You're right. It's just it's an incel mindset that just leads to like it's everyone else's problem. It's like I get like if there's like a core anger, if you were born like like paralyzed or disformed. I can get that. Like,
yeah, you get the we get the penguin. Like, you know,
yeah,
he had
yeah,
money, but
yeah,
he was just ugly. So just
yeah.
like fuck
It's
it,
like
become a villain.
It's like you're still not allowed to go shoot anybody, but like I get the anger. If you were born with like one limb and like a droopy face and like a fucked up spine and like you had to like eat through a tube, like that's some like justified anger. You got fucked. But,
And those people still body lift too.
you're right. They still live. Yeah. You ever see the pictures of like you always see this like clickbait titles, but they're real. It's like world's tiniest bodybuilder, but it'll literally be like, you know, like an 18-inch tall Indian guy, but he'll be like yoked. He'll be lifting
exactly.
pound and a half, but he's like, yeah, he's like a little fucking leprechaun. But even he's bettering himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, dude. So what got you wanting to like do comedy? Because comedy to me that seems terrifying. I'm going off about how open I am and how I can meet people and talk. The last thing I thought about doing stand-up comedy once in 2016.
Yeah.
I made some shitty jokes and I went to an open mic and it turned out that like I went to the wrong night. I emailed about a slot and they're like, no man, you're tomorrow. That was enough for me. I said, fuck it. I
just one time you just dipped your toe and you're just like,
I went in and they're like, no, you're not up till tomorrow. And I was just like, nope, fuck this. I quit. I remember I went and got a bunch of Taco Bell and just like drank by myself. But I was like, even though it was no one's fault but my own. Like I chose the wrong date.
Yeah.
That was so that was enough to turn me off from it. I don't know, man, because even with a podcast, it's me and the other person. Like I make them laugh and it's good enough. And even if I don't make them laugh, who cares? Then it can be a serious conversation. I feel like if there was an audience around me and it was like, none of them are laughing. Okay, well now they're laughing. That just gives me anxiety thinking.
Yeah, the response. Yeah. I'm like, well, you definitely get that dopamine hit when you get an audience to laugh, but you get good at like performing. Cause I'm like, half of it is writing, half of it is performing. Cause I'm like, there's good writers, there's good performers. And then like about 50% of the time, like you'll see a club and they'll invest in a good writer, but they can't perform, or else they'll get a good performer, but they can't really write.
Sure.
You always want to get the performers over the writers, but when I got into comedy, I was a writer. I was kind of a performer already. I kind of like did other like artsy stuff, but I was a nursing student and I didn't want to, it was like a weird thing. Cause like I was like in college, I was like a very stereotypical Filipino nursing major. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. Cause I just feel like I'm being forced into it. I got drunk. I went to an open mic and then I crushed. It was cool.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was going to say in a much lighter way, it's kind of like the KKK. Like, I don't want to do what my family's been doing, you know, KKK.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so you got drunk and went to an open mic.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I was drunk with friends, and then it just happened to be a comedy night, and they were like, "Oh, Marcus, go on stage. You're hilarious." Okay. I'm like, "All right, cool." So I just talked about like stuff, and I guess the biggest thing was just because like even though like, you know, I've lived in Maine my whole life, it's always like a weird like disconnect thing that I've, you know, just culturally, like, you know, my upbringing, even though I'm a Mainer, like, you know, I was always treated like the other and stuff like that, so it always made me feel weird. But then eventually, like, you know, after I made like the first audience laugh, and you get kind of a gauge for reading like who people are, like the working class, because that was my first show. Like, I was drunk. It was a comedy night. I was bitching about the work that I had to people who were at a bar to avoid the work that they were talking about. So it just kind of synced up for a really good one. But then, like, after I did comedy a couple more times, I started talking about like my issues, like, you know, being young, like with race and stuff like that. And that didn't settle well in Maine because I'm like, oh, everyone's older. No one really cares about, like, I just sound like a young kid just like complaining about his issues to a bunch of old people who are like, dude, it's, yeah, exactly. That's what you sounded like. Yeah. So like I ate shit for probably like the first like 2 years after like I crushed the first mic. And I'm like, all right, well, what can I like react? But I realized I was writing stuff from my perspective. And then when you're an audience member, like for the most part, like no one has the same view that you have. Like no one else like I could tell my jokes about being like Filipino from Maine, but if I write them from my perspective without talking about like how people reacted to me, it would not, like, the disconnect is like super hard. And then once I moved to New York, then like all the jokes I had about my diversity and stuff like that, like I was like, oh, this is a younger audience. It's completely different. I started pulling those jokes out. I'm like, oh, cool. And then also like I had jokes like that had like heavier like subject material, or like you had to like know like stuff, and that, or you had to know more media references than Maine would watch, because I'm like, oh, you guys aren't watching like Comedy Central, or you guys aren't watching like Entertainment News, who streams like Knocked Up all the time. So then I'd bring all these jokes back in and then be like, all right, cool. And then I feel like I got my initial jokes about talking about like how to talk to audiences by eating shit in Maine and New England for like 2 years straight. Then once I moved to New York, then like I learned that I was a good writer. It's just like not for the right audience. And then New York, I learned how to perform, and then I've really synced up like performing and writing, but then also having just like this know the room. And then like once that instills, then you get this like sweet like combination of you're a good writer, you're a good performer, and you can like read a room, because half the time comedians will just say their stuff regardless of what audience it is. I'm like, dude, there's a bunch of grandmas here. They're not going to laugh at the jokes that a bunch of 20-year-olds would laugh at, or a bunch of kids would laugh at either. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I never thought about that. Yeah. It's like you got like, again, speaking from someone that's never done comedy. So
yeah.
But I have my false illusions, so I'm going to stand by them. I imagine it's like going in with like, it's almost like you got like different weapons or something, and it's like, what is the best move here? You know, this is like a long distance. You need sniper. This is close. Here's a grenade. I have to go back to Columbine, but like, you know, it's.
Like, yeah, dude. This is military tactics. Yeah, dude. You got the history. Your World War II vets, like going in your blood. It's like
going in. Yeah. But it is. You go in and it's like different weapons for different. You can't just go in. Yeah, like you can't just go in and use like a pistol for everything. You know, it's like you're going up, you have to siege a fortress from like Middle Earth, and you've got a Glock. It's like, no, you need like the catapult. Like, yeah. I imagine diversity jokes also probably work more in somewhere like New York as opposed to fucking Maine.
Like, oh yeah, dude. Oh, it's so funny because like
Ellis Island, like you're right.
Yeah, man. Dude, yeah, diversity jokes in Maine, you can just, it's one of the weird ones, because like if you have a diverse room in New York City, like you'll have like woke white people, and I'm like it seems like woke white people would be the most fun, but I'm like, there's a certain level where I'm like, they're so woke, but they're woke, but they won't acknowledge that it's a joke. Because like sometimes I'll do a racial joke, and then my favorite thing is watching white audience members turn to see if it's okay for them to laugh, and then they'll laugh, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, but it sometimes if you talk about stuff, like if like I remember I did a show in Lincoln's, and the audience was like a lot older, no diversity whatsoever. Every time I did like a race joke that would like kind of make fun of like white people's interpretation of like race stuff, like I'd just see like old heads like shake and like, oh no, that's not like, because then it becomes the audience members feel attacked, but then they like internalize it, and then that becomes like worse, because it's just like, well, I wouldn't. And I'm just like, I'm like, this is a comedy show. I'm like, it's one of those moments where I'm like, why do I have to tell you that these are jokes at a comedy show? And it's like a lot of like hand holding. I'm just like, guys, okay, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
This is the laughing area. You guys can laugh here.
Yeah.
When you guys are outside picketing and I say the racial stuff, then I'm like, it's completely different. Like, calm down.
Yeah. When you're in front of all your other coworkers and you need to get brownie points, but well, I didn't laugh at that racial joke, but it's like at a comedy show. It's like you come to a comedy show to hear fucking comedy. It's like you don't go to a gun range and you're like, why is it so loud? And it's like, fuck are you doing, man? Like,
well, it's the white knighting. Everyone likes to seem like, you know, the hero narrative. Like if someone heard an offensive joke, they want to be like, oh, I didn't laugh at it, so I'm making the world better.
I'm more offended than you were. You should have seen how offended I was. I couldn't even sleep. It's like, it's a little, you see it now. But like I saw it on like Reddit yesterday. That's what made me when you brought up like you know, people's grandpa who were a Nazi. I literally saw a Reddit post yesterday about some dude who had a stopwatch, and it was from like the Third Reich.
Yeah.
And it was like, this guy was like a history buff, and he
Yeah.
bought it because it's a piece of history. And it was like this dope thing. And it was just like, it's so cool because you're like, wow, that was made in 1943. You're like, wow, you
Yeah.
know. What
Yeah. Was it still working, or was it like a weird restoration
No, it
like
was
on
still
Reddit?
working. It was this
Oh.
pristine, and it was like, that's so cool. But the guy literally had to lead his title with like, I don't like Nazis, but
Yeah.
there were people commenting like, it's so sad that like you have to say that because like no one with half a brain assumes you like not like it was like it was like a history subreddit. It was like, we're all here for this like historical richness, and it's like, I don't like Nazis, but, and it's like, you literally have to like lay the foundation of like, I'm pure and socially woke, but
Yeah.
it's like, dude, just go ahead and say it. Like,
Dude, well, I mean, now it's gotten like even crazier with like corporations, because I'm like, everyone has like this mentality that if you buy, you support. And I'm like, well, it's hard to operate in like as a consumer, if anything, if Trump owns like half the businesses, or if like Bezos owns like half the businesses. I'm just like, I do not support him, but my bank account says otherwise,
yeah,
because he's the only guy who sells this kind of milk. I have no idea.
yeah, like, yeah, seriously, when people are, everyone's like shitting on like China and like Foxconn workers, and it's like, hey man, do you like your iPhone?
Yeah.
Do you know why it's $500 instead of $5,000?
Yeah, dude. You can't like dig too deep into like some of that stuff. Like for the for the value of something, it's just like, and even then, if you bought the watch, it's like the Nazis aren't really operating like a business anymore. So
you're not, the money's not going back anywhere. It's all
yeah,
it's all sitting in Swiss banks anyway. So
yeah.
yeah, I gotta go take a piss. Is that cool with you?
That's cool. No worries. I'll just hang out in the
Alright.
podcast. Do you have anything? Do you have any products to plug? I could do the commercial for you. This episode sponsored by.
This episode sponsored by the Grand Dragon.
This is hilarious. What's up, guys? Oh, this is some fun commentary. Anyway, if anyone's listening to this, and if Tommy edits this later, my name is Marcus Cardona. I run a podcast called Meme Therapy. It's going to be a show about social media and the internet and memes as therapy instead of Rorschach test. So check in. You can follow me on all social media at Marcus Cardona. Also, if you guys are wondering on the background of Meme Therapy, this is some fun background. Have you guys seen the meme with like the dog drinking the coffee and it says like, this is fine? This is fine. So.
Did you say anything at all, or is there just an awkward silence that I need to?
Oh, no, you can, I plugged my own show in there. So if you want to edit it, you can like edit it.
No, perfect. It's so easy. It's so much easier when I don't have to edit it, because then it finishes recording and I can just upload the audio and upload the file. But if I have to like splice stuff out, I got to put it in a video editor, and that jacks up the file size. So it's perfect when there's.
Dude, hey, at least you're figuring it out, man. I'm like, I just got my whole setup, and I'm just like learning it.
Because we'll use your podcast as Meme Therapy, and it's.
Yeah, I got a Moto like audio.
I don't know what any of that is.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a separate audio like jack. So it's like and it's like run through like a USB cord.
Sure.
And then I have I use StreamYard, which that's a fun one if you want like if you have like slideshows that you want to show during the podcast. And then and then I got this cool little hand rake thing that I set up so I look official.
Yeah, no, it's when I started it, because I only started this in December. Like I got a new MacBook in August, and it's shout out Foxconn, but I got maybe coronavirus was payback for all the they're like, this is what you fucking get. But yeah, I just screen recorded. I didn't really know what to do, and I just screen recorded, and like the audio shit, because it's picking up my voice, and then it'd be like the voice of the guest coming through the speakers getting picked up by the microphone. And but the problem, I didn't realize this, is if you just screen record on a MacBook, it's screen recording in like super high resolution. So it's the video isn't high resolution, it's recording the screen, which is 4K. So the first episode was like 50 gigabytes, and I was like, what the fuck? I started compressing it to like 1080, and that made it smaller. But the problem was is I couldn't get good audio, and I finally started using Zoom like during coronavirus because people would be like, "Do you have Zoom instead of Skype?" And I was like, "All right, fine."
Yeah.
Zoom has an option to record from here, and it rips your audio directly. So like I
Okay.
get your voice that's going in your instead of getting that like shitty, trashy, ratchety like backfeeding. So, but not only that, it only records in like the quality of the video, which is like average, probably
Yeah.
like 540 at best. So now, dude, a 2-hour podcast legitimately, even after being compressed, used to be like 20 gigabytes. Now, a 2-hour podcast using Zoom, it's maybe like 500 megabytes. So
Okay.
so you can store a shit ton more of them, but it's also easier to upload. And then it also it gives you 2 separate files automatically. It rips out the audio file too. So I can upload just that and I wish Zoom would sponsor me, but it's honestly, dude, it is fucking fantastic. It beats the shit out of screen recording with QuickTime Player.
Oh
I have
yeah,
a
yeah.
microphone that I just haven't set up. I used it for some, but it's fantastic. But yeah, that's. I'm sure there's a lot more that could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What got you into starting your podcast? Just the same general.
So my podcast was actually like inspired from like, so there's like an SNL, like there's like every year the SNL and like all these like late night shows, they have like comedian writers packets. So I basically wrote a packet where the concept was a millennial like therapist, because like I've gone to therapy before and I'm like, it's always like an older person and I always try to get like as specific to me as possible. So I'm like, okay, I feel more comfortable talking to a female. If she has immigrant parents, that's cool. And it's like a weird, like, you can't like filter that through. But then like I'd get like the same situation, but then be like an older person. So it'd just be like me. I could have just like talked to my sister instead. And then it'd be weird. Like some of them would like confirm, then like, deny or something like that. They just like take different like therapeutic routes and stuff like that. And then I remember like someone gave me a Rorschach test. I'm like, oh, this is so like it's very vague. It's not even. It's kind of like a horoscope. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever you see is you're just projecting, and then this is like a deep dive into your psyche. And then I thought about it because I'm like, I laugh at memes a lot. I'm just like, I feel like if I see a good meme, then I have a pretty good day. And then
Yeah.
I was like, so I wrote in a sketch where it's gonna be like a millennial like hipster therapist. And then, like, someone who's like, oh, I've tried all these therapies before. It doesn't work. And then the therapist is just, like, holding up different memes. And then there's, like, different Kermit.
Like Pepe. Like,
Yeah.
what do you see? Do you see white nationalist? Do you just see a frog?
It's like, hey, which Kermit does the Kermit sipping tea relate to you? Okay, cool. And then I just was like, okay, fine. And then after everyone was like coming out online, I was like, okay, because doing stand up like through a screen, because again, like you get to see every individual and it's very different. You don't have a stage. You only have like this much space that you can actually operate out of, and you can't really dive into like deeper subjects. I'm just like, okay, I've done a couple online stand up shows. And I'm like, it's not the same. So I'm just like, okay, how do I still connect with people? And I was posting through my Instagram story, and then sometimes I have followers who message me like, oh, your Instagram story, like kind of like, it made me laugh. It made me think. It made me do like stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm just like, let's combine like the SNL packet with like what I've been doing on my social media. And then the podcast happened because I'm just like, well, I'm still being productive. Like my brain still like wants to create and stuff like that. And then instead of me doing a show with a bunch of comedians, even though my first episode did have a comedian, it's going to be me and basically like individual audience members or something like that. Just so that way, because people, I feel like everyone is, even though we're isolated, we're all connected in like a weird way. And no matter what, memes are like, if I see a good meme and someone shares it, like you'll see how many people share memes that are really good. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, this is a weird way that we're all connected. So might as well.
Dude, there's absolutely something to memes. Like I remember I was a biology major in college, and it's like you becoming a nurse. I got into med school, but was just like, I don't fucking want to do this. I'm just doing it to do it. But one of the things I remember was like vertical and horizontal gene transfer, and it's like when like a gene is like particularly advantageous for whatever it is, single cellular, whatever, eye color, fucking enzymes, whatever. It's like not only obviously natural selection, there's more of those in the progeny, but also it's horizontal gene transfer. It's like they're finding that like different bugs could pass shit to each other. But it was, they called like the alleles that are alleles, they called them in some scenarios, they called them memes, because they're like, it stands for like, what it is it's a way to pass highly advantageous information back and forth quickly, and it can spread through different mediums, different species. But I was like, how true is that with memes though? Like, you have your different platforms. You have Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. It goes, you have, you got shitty screenshots of stuff, but it's like memes do have, and not only that, but there's, you said it perfectly with like the Rorschach test. It's like, what do you see on that? It's like, it's like if I text you just, whatever, just some shitty, like maybe I was a dick to that guy. You're like, yeah, maybe you were. But if I send you like Thanos being like, perhaps I treated you too harshly, it's like, there's so much more in that than just text. It's him.
Yeah.
Like, who is Thanos? You got to know who Thanos is. But it's like, there's so much conveyed in that little tiny blip. And it can spread, like when a good meme goes up, I mean, it can spread like wild. I mean, literally viral. Like, there's something, you're right. It's a good meme, man. A good meme can just change your like afternoon. It's just like, you're just like, all right. You're like, we still got memes. You're like, you're like, the world's falling apart, but we still got memes.
And dude, that's how I feel. Cause I'm like, there's been hilarious memes, especially with like this, the last dance, the Michael dude, finding out more about Michael Jordan 20 years later. And then the memes that come from it are like, I'm like, he couldn't predict this. This is just hilarious.
Did you see when he was crying at like Kobe's speech?
Oh yeah.
And he was like, now there's gonna be a whole bunch of new goddamn memes of me crying.
He's like, got me again.
Got me again. It's true though, man. Dude, I looked it up. So do you know that there's actually, I bullshit you not, feel free to Google it, don't take my word. There was, after the 2016 election, when shit was so wildly determined by external forces, be it Russia or be it memes, but regardless of what it is, it was outside the power structure of just the mainstream media and which candidate do the corporations choose. It got so wild with just, it went from being like, well, what's your plan, to this just like Trump could say a meme and the meme takes off. And it's like, if you don't know how to meme, it's all these boomers, and it's like he who can meme is going to inherit the whole office. And it's like, that's why, I mean, like Elon Musk could take it over if he wanted to, because the motherfucker can meme.
Dude, you have to get good tweet PR. That's what brought down Hillary. Hillary's tweet game was terrible.
Have you seen that Snapchat? It's some like 12-year-old Hispanic kid, and he's like taking a selfie with her, and it's like, she's like, they're on the campaign trail, but then the Snapchat just says, learn how to delete your emails, you fucking retard. But it's like, that's what took off. And it's not like your sound fiscal policy or your foreign policy or what are you going to do with whatever the budget for the Department of Agriculture. Instead, it's just, you'd be in jail. And it's like, that's what takes off. And so there's a CIA memetic division, and I'm not making this up, because they talked about just how powerful, because I mean, think, man, if you've got the power of the NSA, you can see shit that no one else can.
Yeah, you see all these weird patterns.
You can see trends. You have supercomputers picking it up. I mean, shit, like if Twitter can figure out what's trending, then the NSA can figure it out. They probably knew what was trending before there was such thing as trending, right?
Yeah.
And they knew it was trending when there was just AOL. But they saw they're like these packets of information, memes, and they can deliver ideas faster, and is almost like a Trojan horse. If I text you something or message you something, if I just see a random DM of whatever, I don't want to talk right now, but if I see a meme, it's like, I'll look at it and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So it's like, you can use these Trojan horses to get into people's minds using memes. But they talked about like, if like the corporations, they're like the early, like in the CIA thing, they're talking like the early memes are what? Like motivational posters. It's like they want production. So it's a picture of a mountain and it's like perseverance, but none of those worked. But they're talking about like the irrefutable power of memes. I had a guy on from NASA, and he said that the whoever the new director is, they're talking about how it wasn't just that they weren't having enough success. They're talking about they had no online presence in like pop culture. There's, there can be official NASA account.
Dude, NASA hasn't had as much good advertising since like Nickelodeon '90s TV shows because like that was the prize. You had the Space Camp, and then no one gave a shit about Space Camp after those shows.
Yeah. And it's like but that's exactly what this guy said. He was like, no, the director of NASA was saying, he's like, we're not on the same like playing field as like Elon, because like sure, the Cybertruck's cool, but like if it's Elon making memes about it, it's like, oh, this is really like Elon smoking pot on Rogan. Every boomer's like, that's the end. Anyone with a brain was like, well, that guy just won over the hearts and minds of a generation. Like,
no, he's relatable now. Look at him, he's smoking weed.
Yeah,
he's dating Grimes.
Yeah.
He's having a baby with a robot name.
Yeah, and it's
AE78.
Yeah, seriously, it's literally like it's like the Hello Kids. It's like Hello Kids, like that meme. But it's like Elon. It's like you can definitely relate to it more. It's like, oh, he memes about Minecraft. He memes about whatever. There's definitely a power to it that like even just like screenshots of shit. Like anyone can say like we're all in it together, coronavirus. But I saw a meme yesterday, and it was like, if you're not gonna open up bars, then you gotta at least legalize open container so that we can all roam about drunk 6 feet apart from each other like a bunch of beautiful drunken buffalo.
Yeah, dude, I feel that, man. Like I've only seen images of New York, but I'm just like, oh, so we're Vegas now. That's what it is. We're just drinking closed containers. It's fine as long as 6 feet apart. You guys are good.
Yeah, Jesus, man. So, last thing I'm gonna ask is, so for me, I have yet to turn like what I want to do into money, and that's been like the holy grail for me. I almost feel
how to make this sustainable.
But sustainable is step 2, but just getting like a penny is step 1. And it's like if like I could have made money. I got into medical school. Like 50,000 people applied to the school I got into. 150 got in. Like I could have done it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to do something I love. And I got into graphic design. I love doing that. But even then it was like, it's all great. And I can have people telling me it's great and I can have fun. But ultimately, like, I'm no better off than just playing Xbox because there's nothing coming in.
Yeah.
I got my podcast up on Anchor, and I think I get like a penny for like 100 views. So like I've made $4. But to me, it's like, that's like, because I always hear people like Ari Shaffir talk about it. It's like what was like the biggest like moment for you in comedy? Was it becoming like a millionaire? Was it like getting your Netflix? He was like, no, it was just getting any money and just seeing that like, oh, okay, it can work. He's like, anything to just push the suicidal thoughts off a little longer. Like, oh, I can make $1. That's, to me, that is like the holy grail, is to like, because it can all be fun. It can be great. It can be, hey man, your podcast is funny. That's all great. But it doesn't mean jack shit if it still doesn't equate to something. And I'm just guessing, like, I'm asking what did it feel like? Have you gotten money from any like comedy? Like,
yeah, it's a benefit. Like I've had shows that I crushed and I felt really good about because like the audience was engaged and stuff like that. And like the show overall was good and I didn't get paid for it. And then shows that you do get paid, like some of them, it's like, I feel like sometimes if you do get paid, like you just have like this, you bring your A game, you're like a top performer, like no matter what, you won't mess around or anything like that. But that's not necessarily as fun because you're like so strictly like contractually, like now that you're being like paid and like you're definitely like, there.
Sticking by it.
It's a little bit more tighter. Cause like, I feel like either way, like especially in New York, a lot of it is, You just want like the momentum because like from one show you get booked on other shows, and then if you get like bigger shows, have been like, oh, he performed at this venue or he performed on this show, and he did well, then you get more shows from that. Because I'd say I kind of have like a weird like I've been getting super into Gary Shandling, and then it's just like he just had like this whole mentality about like being a good performer and just like, you know, not even like focusing on the like success, because any kind of financial success is like crazy. Even like Bo Burnham, who I'm always just like trying to be like, how do I get to like that level?
Yeah.
Because Bo had like the momentum from the get-go. He didn't get into he didn't do the comedy club route, because a lot of the comedians that I am in the same wheelhouse with, they're all going through the comedy clubs. And like, even though I could push for the comedy clubs, when you start, it's a financial drain on you until you get some momentum, or you get some like, or you have like a pull, because like there's like, when it comes down to like the business aspect of comedy, it comes down to talent and pull. And a lot of the times like pull will definitely like, you know, be overvalued by comedy clubs and venues that you want to be recognized in over talent, because at the end of the day, it's still a comedy club business. They were trying to get as many audience members in the seats.
Yeah.
It could be, you could be a good performer, but if people aren't showing out for you, you kind of like your talent value kind of just like diminishes, which as a performer, that's like a big ego, just like punch in the face. It's just like, it's like, I'm so funny, but just like the club doesn't see me because I'm like, you're not pulling in the numbers that they want. It's all you are is just like a sales employee in comedy. That's it. You're just selling your specific brand.
Yeah.
And then you'll see it like right now there's like a lot of thirst trap comedians. Like I started posting them ironically because I'm like, they'll just be like hot like, I don't know when the hot comedians became like a thing. There's just like so many like, wow, they're aesthetically pleasing. I'm like,
dude, fuck that. That would just make me depressed, because it'd be like, you're funny and you're hot. It'd be like, I can definitely relate. It's like someone that's like not special looking, not ugly, not hot, but it's just, I feel like I can enjoy the comedy versus some like dime piece. Like,
hey, dude. I mean, it's not like hot people don't have problems that are comedic. I'm like, it's very specific, but it's also one of the weird ones where you'll see like the audience, because like I have friends who are like really funny, but they're also hot female comedians, and like their audience members are these creepy dads, and then I'm like, and then I'll joke with them in the back, being like, hey, how was it telling jokes to all your dad's friends? And then they'll get pissed at me because I'm like, you know exactly who your audience is pulling. She's like,
sure.
It's like,
man.
Well, I can't be friends with like the hot chicks who look like me, so I just had to voice that generation. So at least I get to talk to my sexual harassers rather than just get catcalled by them. I was like, all right. I'm like, I guess that's good.
Distance, there's security around. It's kind of like jail. It's like talking through a one-way thing.
I know, dude. I feel like that definitely, like the way that comedy has like transpired, like this thirst trap comedian getting on stage and like having like all the creepy dudes there, it's definitely become like, I've seen it definitely come from like a fetish where I'm just like, oh, there's these dudes who like to get dommed, so they'll pay for these websites, or you can go to a $5 comedy show, and I'm just like, it's like a weird like, I could see the angle. I'm like, how can you sell this? Because I'm like, it's smart branding, but it's still wild. But for me, I'm like, it's all about the performance, because I'm like, if you don't have an engaged audience, like, yeah, you can get like a lot of pull, you can have a lot of people coming out to see you, but then I'm like, you want the audience to take away something. Like even like, I'm sure Ari Shaffir would like say it himself, like, you know, yeah, it's cool to get paid, but I'm like, if the audience didn't take any, like, because like when Ari does go into the darker jokes that have like something like a social commentary to take away from it, like, you know, oh, am I a homophobe? You should ask yourself if you're a homophobe because of this experience. And I'm just like, that's it. Like, you know, yeah, it's a bunch of like shock commentary or shock jokes and stuff like that. But the overall take of it is like, how do you feel about, like, you know, if you had like this thought, like, would you still like yourself? And I'm like, that's really it. Like, cause I've been paid for like stupid events. I'm just like, wow, I was like, did not expect this much. And I'm just like, this is a decent show. And I'm like, the money feels good because I'm just like, it's there. But then I'm just like, it just goes back into like my comedy pockets. I'm just like, all right. I'm like, it just goes to me spending it at like a couple other venues or like distributing it. Cause I'm like, I'd rather have a good performance and then like have a good connection with like an audience member or even like network with someone and like meet an agent or talk to another comedian and be like, oh, hey, you're really funny. And like seeing that we have the same sense of humor and then collaborating on a project. Like, yeah, Tommy, you could like come to a show and be like, hey, Marcus, went to high school. Like you had a great set. I would like, that'd pass me by, but I'm like, oh, I'm really glad that you asked me to be on the podcast. Cause I'm like, that's like something that, yeah, we connected, but I'm like, the connection weighs more than like, if you're going to pay me for anything.
Yeah. Here's $50 for coming on the podcast. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Yeah. I'm trying to look at it less and less. Like I'm 29 years old. I live with my parents. It's
hey, dude. So do half of like 3.8 million unemployed in America right now. We're good. This is the best and most responsible we can be right now. You could be out in the streets spreading disease.
You could be killing grandmothers right now. Do you see how offended I am? I am not killing grandma, and I'm not laughing.
I'm just podcasting by myself. I'm a hero.
I'm a hero. I am doing much work. One day they're going to be dissecting this manifesto. You can really see how it started to spiral down right before the shooting. You can see freeze frame it there. See that? You can see the moment he decided.
And this guy got into medical school.
I got in the yeah. And no one's paying you for a podcast. It's everyone's problem, man. If he was just an angsty 29-year-old, fuck that kid. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It's my own. It is. What I was gonna say is it's. I mean, clearly I'm capable of like getting a job or getting into grad school, and I find myself trying to like don't focus on. It's hard not to constantly be like I live with my parents, Dad.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean that's always good. That's always gonna be a slap in the face, no matter what.
It's always staring right like in its background, like, oh, let's keep doing good performances and maybe I'll get paid, when it's like dad and like, hey, I'm retiring at this date, get out. It's hard not to like, you feel the fire, you feel the heat of the sun. And it's like, it's hard not to think about how am I going to turn this into money? How am I going to turn this into money? But I'm trying not to let it because I've realized like, you know what? Even if it doesn't turn into money this year, I'll go get a shitty job. I'm not going to quit podcasting.
Dude. I'm like again. As long as you had an outlet, plus the certainty of the future, like any kind of business plan that anyone kind of had, like any kind of goal, like everyone who's still planning on going to pay full tuition at their school that's an Ivy League school next year. I'm just like, just go to community college. Just like during this time, if you're gonna be doing it remotely, no. I'm like, you're not getting better knowledge.
No, you're not. You're not at all. Trust me, you're not. I went to the University of Georgia. Great school. You know where I was interviewing at med schools? I was interviewing in LA, in Tulane, in Miami. You know who else was there? A bunch of Yale and Harvard kids. Oh, we both got the same interview. You paid $250,000. I got state,
Dude, no, we all, dude, we're all Matt. A lot of us, I feel you and me, like everyone else from rural areas, we're all Matt Damon in the movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it makes me think of that Brian Reagan joke. He's like, it's like, man, he's like, you gotta be good if you sell refrigerators. Look at this one right here, $600 keeps your food cold. This one over here, $1,200 keeps your food cold. Right here, $1,800 keeps your food cold. It's like those guys are geniuses if they can push that shit. It's go to a different
sell me this pen. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, sell me this pen. Could you write your name down for me? But yeah, man, it's that was like a good meme. That made me feel better. Like there's 38 million people at home or unemployed. There's 350 million people at home. You're right. This is my social justice war. I could be killing grandmas. I could be coughing on subways. Instead, I'm at home. This is the same thing as storming the beaches at D-Day. That's what I'll tell myself.
Dude, this is our war that we're gonna fight on, and I'm gonna play League of Legends later, and that's gonna be my battlefield. And I did so much. I did all I could.
Yeah, I just downloaded Far Cry last night. I'd never played a Far Cry.
Which Far Cry?
Far Cry 4.
Ooh, hey, dude, Far Cry's lit.
Dude, do you ever play Just Cause?
Yeah, I played Just Cause.
Fuck yeah, I fucking love Just Cause. I played Just Cause 3 and 4 so many times. It's disgusting. What I do is, I'll let you go in a minute. What I do is I listen to audiobooks while I play video games because that way I feel like less useless when I'm
Yeah.
Because like I said, living at home without an income, I can't even really enjoy video games because it's just like, trying to get lost in GTA, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Just this internal voice. You're just like, I need someone else talking because my voice is just terrible.
Exactly. I don't. Yeah. It's you've seen that meme. It's like when my parents ask me why I scroll through memes every waking moment of the day. And it's the kid smiling. And it's like, because otherwise I'd have to face the internal voices. As long as you flood your mind. But yeah, that's what I try to find. Like, I'll play a game once through and like understand it, and then I'll go back through and I'll just mute it, but I'll listen to audiobooks and I just try to learn something. So that's what I've been doing. So I found, I figured if I was like Far Cry, so I'm playing through it right now. I'm just gonna try to understand what it is, and then I'm gonna mute it and go back through and listen to audiobooks. I'm not really sure where the fuck I'm going with that, but yeah, it's
Dude, Far Cry 4 is fun too. That's the one that's set in the United States too, right?
No, I think it's like in like the
South America.
No, it's in like the mountains. Far Cry 4. It was in like, it looks like it's in like the Himalayas.
Oh, okay, cool. Because like I know that there was one Far Cry where I'm like you're fighting like a cult and stuff like that, and like
I think that's 5 because I think
I
think 5 is in America. Yeah, man. That Just Cause 4, Grand Theft Auto.
Dude, yeah, dude, Just Cause was like, dude, it was a combination of Far Cry because you have all like these crazy tools, and then you get like this Grand Theft Auto like feel. Because I'm like, dude, well, I've been like video games now because I feel like we're just speedballing into like Black Mirror and Ready Player One because everyone's just like, everyone's at home and just like, dude, real life is boring. Let's just plug in.
Fuck real life. But it is, man. It's like, but yeah, you're right. But we're hurling towards that. It's like literally, like we can't even play the outside game anymore. It's like
even with these murder hornets. This disease.
Yeah. Who the fuck is the writer for season 2020? COVID? Does Kim Jong-un die or not? And like, I got it.
Dude,
murder hornets.
Dude, I just like the fact that as things get crazier, the U.S. government finally caved in and be like, yeah, UFOs are real. we're just like, fuck. Okay, we're doing a terrible job. Just let them know it's true.
It's actually brilliant, man. It's like damage control. It's like, what better time to just like slip that out?
Yeah, dude, especially since the Area 51 raid.
Yeah.
Because I'm now on the side where I'm just like, yo, if they're gonna open society, open up Area 51 because we know the truth now.
Have you seen that meme where it's like the tough guy? Well, I was gonna say, don't let me keep you, by the way.
That's cool, dude. I'm having fun.
Okay, yeah. Because I always tell people, I'm like, let's aim for an hour because I realized in the first like 20 podcasts, I keep people hostage with how long. I realized I was like, oh, they're trying not to be rude, so they're just nodding, and I'm like, oh, I've kept them for 4 hours, and they're like, I gotta go. So
well, I mean, were they in quarantine too? Because like I don't have. I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this Gary Shandling documentary again.
No, the first episode was December 12th. I mean, there's probably only like a month where it wasn't quarantine.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, every guest you have now is just gonna be like, yeah, oh, dude, let's just talk. It's fine.
Dude, quarantine has worked. I'm like a defense contractor making money off of war. I'm like, the quarantine's terrible. I know 80,000 people have died. I'm like, but would you be available on Wednesday, 3 p.m.? It's just like no one has anything to do. So, yeah, I'm hopefully having a guest Thursday. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say it. But he will. I think that will be the biggest guest yet. But yeah, it's like his response was like, "Yeah, I can give you a little bit of time. Like, can't do anything. Virus. I can't do anything. Like my company's like shut down. It's like, but yeah, there's this the tough guy snapping meme.
Yeah.
like Greece.
Yeah. The Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you the Jets, you always the Jets. Yeah, not Greece. But it was like me and the boys when we realized all the Area 51 guards are working at home. I've been walking towards Area 51. It's like,
dude, dude, I still support that raid. I was like, if only like, you know, this was channeled towards like an actual like good protest instead of pure silliness.
Or little shit like affordable health care, global warming. Instead of all like we
doesn't matter.
Let's clap them cheeks. There's a guy at the gym who's like in his like 40s. And I thought I heard him saying something, and in like the locker room, I was like, "You talking about the Area 51 raid?" And he was like, "Clap them cheeks." And I was just like, gang, yeah.
That's brilliant.
You see that on Reddit? Some dude got a tattoo on his calf, like right before the raid, and it's literally an alien with like just like a big ass, like junk in the trunk, and the alien looking over his shoulder like that. So Kardashian ass and just said clap them cheeks.
Dude, hey, you know what? I have no regrets. I made a tweet early on. It was after like the potential World War III whatever scenario. And I was like, hey, if we survive the rest of this year, we should all get matching tattoos. And then now I'm just like, well, if I get to 2021, I'm like, whoever's in.
Whoever. Yeah, I survived 2020. But seriously, it's like that was the beginning. Like General Soleimani like blew him up on an airport, and everyone was like, "Oh fuck!" Just when you thought 2020 was going to be a new year, new me. But and then
dude,
like
none of my resolutions, all my resolutions are basically like, just get through tomorrow, just get through today.
Dude, that has like when shit started to get shut down, up here in Maryland, or I guess down here to you.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Everyone around here calls Maryland down here.
Yeah.
It's not an important talking point. But like literally when stuff started to get shut down, I was like, there's like two ways I can do this. I was like, I can either gain like a fuck ton of weight, watch my mental health spiral and do nothing. Or I can like exercise every day and just like, what better time than to like crank out podcasts? There is no excuse. There's no excuse not to do it. And that's what's kept me busy. Is every day exercising, like challenging myself to try to meditate every day, try to do 5 to 6 podcasts a week, and try to listen to like audiobooks while I play video games. And like, that's the only way I'm getting through this. Every day is just like this morning in the shower, like starting to get a panic attack. And I was like, what do I got to do today?
Yeah.
Gonna meditate, talking to Marcus, gonna play Far Cry. I was like, just get to tomorrow. Just get to tomorrow.
Dude. I mean, there's like the big goals and stuff like that, and what you can actually do like within like your time frame. Because I'm like, everyone who has like to go out to do work and stuff like that, like all the comedians who had like no other who didn't write but just performed, like the performers, not the writers. Like it's like I could see it like just taking a toll on them and them going crazy, because I'm just like, well, you guys should have invested like your talents in writing or something else. And then now, because I'm like, the big shift is like the comedians who are just switching over to TikTok and then like having like the views and stuff like that, because that kind of gives them like the mental performance boost. And I'm just like, I hope you know it's like a million teenagers ironically watching you do this bad stuff.
Or it's China just pushing whatever they want.
Dude, there's no gauge on that, because I'm like, I don't understand how you can get like 1 million followers after you've had an account for like 3 days. I'm just like,
I don't believe that's one thing I've stopped believing like shit like on Twitter,
follower numbers and stuff like that,
where I'm just like, who the fuck says this got 70,000 upvotes?
Yeah.
Like who can I see that actually upvotes?
Dude, bro, Reddit's good about that one. Same thing with like Twitter, especially like, because I've tried to post stuff in like Reddit groups and I'm just like, should have read the rules. I'm just like,
I
stupid.
know. As soon as you post it, you get like an auto moderator. It's like, thank you for posting, but it's been removed. It's like, dude, just fuck off. Just fucking post. You didn't put it in a flare and brackets. And
you have to get your comment karma up to 20, which means you have to comment on 20 other people's mindlessly. I'm just like, what is this?
Exactly. Dank Memes has the threshold of 10,000 karma. thankfully I've had a shit account since 2010, so I accrued it passively without meaning to. But like, dude, it's not only that, man. It's like the wrong think on Reddit is like,
Yeah.
because I think I have 23 accounts.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, you're yeah, Tommy, I'm gonna have you. Well, let's not talk about that. You're gonna be on meme therapy for fake accounts.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Do you want me to curb that? I'll save that.
Nah, yeah, I'll save it for that one. It'll be a good one. I'll bring you on later on.
Okay, I'll save it for that. But yeah, like just in general, like wrong think, man. There's some post on our next fucking level, and it was like a new Nutter Butters cookie or something. But it was like a DM between this guy and like Nutter Butters like official Instagram page, and it was like, hey man, I've always wanted you to make whatever the new flavor was. We'll just call it chocolate just for the sake of this.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, that's pretty cool that you had like the balls to like message like the official account. You know what? We're gonna do it. And then it's like Nutter Butters comes out with this, and I was just like, I was like, this is guerrilla advertising. Like this didn't happen. Like this is someone had a savvy PR. So I just commented, this is an advertisement. Nothing else. That is literally it. This is an advertisement.
Yeah.
I got permanently banned. And then I had my Reddit account for the first time in 10 years. I had it suspended for a week. I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, man. So that right there was like, okay, don't fuck with like Reddit's wallet. Like that's what I learned. It was like, you know the hand that feeds you. It's like you don't fuck with the wallet. So that's why I preemptively over the last like 5 years, I just made an account every like 2 months.
just so you have another in.
Well, yeah, no. What I did is I make them and I just cook them up, and I would just and like I make sure that like every day, like I would just randomly sign into one, just so I don't even know which one I'm using. So I'm like, where's the sub? I'm like, oh, I guess I haven't subbed to it on this user, so I have to go to a new sub and find it. But that way, it looks real. It's like I have these like 23 accounts. To the point though where like I've commented on some of my own stuff and like forgotten about it, and
you're just like, yo, the OP doesn't know shit, and you're like, oh, I was OP.
Yeah, no, I'll literally look back at comments and I'll be like, fuck that guy, and I'll be like, oh man, I'll be like, that's me. I'll be like, that's me arguing with me, and I'll be like, oh no. But yeah. I guess Reddit caught on to it because when I was like, this is an advertisement, and they banned my thing, and I was like, fuck that. So I went to one of my other accounts, and I like posted that, and I was like, they got banned, and that one got banned. So I did a third one, and that one got banned, and I was like, okay, they definitely are like figuring out like my IP.
Yeah, they're tracing your IP at that point.
Yeah, so I was like, all right. So yeah, I went to an iPad and put it on incognito, and like now I'm good. So I'm like literally. Yeah, iPhone 1, other one. Yeah, it's make sure that I can still post on Reddit. So yeah, man. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I'll save the rest of that for your podcast. But yeah, man, it's just made me believe it less and less when you see something that's on the front page with like 150,000 upvotes, and like there's nothing that, and I know this is such like a first world thing, but there's nothing that like I hate more than Reddit awards. And like, it really does. Like, it's a stupid thing to get angry about, but like, I felt like an old timer. I remember when it was just gold, but it was like cool when you got gold. I remember I got gold in 2013 because I posted my MCAT study guides, and it was like people are like, oh, thanks for this, and like someone gilded me, and it was like, whoa, that's so cool.
I'm crushing it on Reddit.
I was like, I'm crushing it. Someone's like, man, thanks, dude. This really helped me improve my MCAT score, and it's for free. I get it, it's not like $2,000 Kaplan test. And I was like, that's so cool. Now, every single goddamn post, it looks like it was like decorated by like a third grade girl.
You have stickers, dude. Those are the new Boy Scout badges.
They are, dude. You ever seen that meme where it's like, or even like the blue check marks?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, gang verified. There's I'll send you some links over. there's a comedian. His name is Jabuki Young White, but he'll change his like name after he gets verified to crazy stuff. Like he changed his like icon and name to like the CIA just so that way he could post stuff, and then everyone would repost it. And then he got his blue check mark taken away because he abused that power. I'm like, there's the funniest one because he also did, I think he did Joe Biden, and then he changed his picture to Joe Biden, had the blue check mark, changed his profile name, and then his like the tweet they sent out was like, "Where the hose at?" And I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, cause like, yeah, that's overvalued.
Someone did that with who's the Attorney General? Bill Barr.
Yeah.
They either put like an extra space or like an extra R or something.
Yeah.
But someone did that. They like Trojan horse their verified account, and they're like, so it was like, "Yo, fuck Donald Trump. I hate this job." And I remember I thought, holy shit. And it quickly taken down. But I saw something where it was like all these North Korean, because North Korea is a meme.
Yeah.
It is a meme. And I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of their generals, like the top.
Oh yeah.
They have all the medals. So North Korean generals will have medals down their entire coat, onto their pants, onto like their sleeves, and it's just, that's how good they are. And it's just a North Korean thing to do. Be like, look how many medals we have. But I saw someone post that, but all the medals were replaced with like blue check marks or like Reddit gold, and it was like the new oligarchy, and it's like, we must listen to what they say. Yeah, man. But yeah, if you ever see like links to my podcast on Reddit, there's a 99% chance it's one of my accounts.
That's hilarious.
Like slide, like I had a Delta Force guy on yesterday who like the elite of the elite, like mercenaries.
Yeah, that's what's up.
This guy, dude, he was the youngest ever Delta Force member at 23. This dude is, let's put it this way: the Secret Service is made up of former Delta Force. It's like,
dude, dude. I know Green Berets and Black Ops people. So I'm just like, I've heard crazy stories.
Off of the top, like, and he was talking about meditation and how important it is, and like visual. And I was like, oh, cool, because like here he was talking about, we're talking about meditation, and like visualizing success, and like that's what always got me through like depression in college. Is I would just think. I mean, don't get me wrong, I also studied 12 hours a day. It's not like, oh, just visualize it and it'll come. No, I would whenever I'd get like depressed or just really didn't want to study organic chemistry, I'd just be like, think about how great it's going to be when you get into med school. Think about how you're going to be so happy you did it. You're going to be so proud. And I'd always, I'd kind of get like butterflies and be like, okay, it's like a little hit of meth. I'm so, okay, now I can study for another week. Like that feeling in me. But he was talking about how they were literally taught how to do that when they were training to become Delta. They were like, they were taught how to, because it's like, when you haven't slept in 4 days and you're pretty sure you're going to die and the helicopter's not coming to pick you up, they're like, it's very easy to fall into like we're fucked. And it's like morale, and then you're ruined. And it's like, they were literally taught how to like meditate and be like, no, like we are going to get out of this. We're going to fucking shoot our way out. Like we've got Uncle Sam. And it was, but he's talking. So anyway, so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Cause he's talking about this stuff that's normally reserved for like kind of new agey stuff. But it's like, here's this guy who is the antithesis of like new age. He's just ex Delta Force, like Jesus.
He's like a fucking badass. But yeah, dude, the mentality, like, yeah, that's like a lot of it. Like that's what this whole thing is. Like, you're seeing a lot of people who don't have any like mentality, and like the further away that from normal and society that they have become, the more extreme they are. Because I'm just like, oh, because so much of their identity and who they were rely on that old thinking.
Dude, that's literally what my therapist said to me a couple weeks ago. I've been seeing a therapist for a long time now. She was like, I'm finding that the more anxious, more depressed people I know. And I was like, it's cool. You can call us crazy. I was like, you can say the C word, crazy people. She's like, I'm finding like the crazier like people I have. She's like, they are dealing with this the best. She's like, they are dealing with quarantine, with isolation, with like global shutdown. And she was like, because it seems like you're just battling your own mind on a daily basis. You sort of calloused yourself to anxiety. So it's when the world shuts down, you're like, fuck it, dude, it's just another day. The whole, I just got to make it through today. I'm like, dude, welcome to my life. Like, but yeah, it kind of makes me think of like Bane. And people are like,
you were only you only knew craziness in quarantine. I was born by it, shaped by it.
But that's literally what I was thinking. I was thinking of like you doing comedy, like you're gonna be a nurse. Me doing a podcast was gonna be a doctor, and it's like, oh, like you think you understand crazy? Like,
yeah,
molded by it. You didn't use memes till you were I didn't see memes till I was a man. Like,
yeah, dude. Well, I mean, yeah, no matter what, any kind of entertainer, any kind of like, outlet is like usually a creative response to an extreme stressful situation. That's why lawyers, Wall Street people all have those weird, they go to those weird sex clubs with the fetishes because they're like, they need an outlet. And I'm like, hey, creative.
Their outlets, like, having some dominatrix burn them and, read them Bible verses backwards or something. It's like, hey man, whatever gets your rocks off. But yeah, man, I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of want to go play Far Cry. So
that's cool, dude. No, it's cool. Yeah, hey, dude, this was a great podcast. I appreciate it.
Please come back on, dude. That was a fucking blast. I like talking to someone as unhinged and unserious. It's sometimes I just need someone else whose soul is like, I have a great day when I see a good meme, and I'm like, I can relate to that. Everyone else is like, I'm getting married and I have my third baby on the way. And I'm like, hey, man.
Yo, can you just like make me feel good about this?
Yeah. No, you're fine. We're all at home. This is our D-Day. Literally, it's like, bang the magazine on their helmet to see if it's empty. It's like, bang the phone, like, she's got me. We happy few. It's like raising the flag on Iwo Jima, but it's just
dude, yeah, it's gonna be Tiger King memes.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
You don't need to. Okay. I gave into it as an entertainer, but I'm like, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I haven't given into it, but that's the problem with memes, man. If you're out of it for a day, you come back and be like, what the fuck are all of these new memes? But yeah, man, let's I'll text you after this. Let's definitely do another one. That was fun as fuck. And
yeah.
Shit, man, I'd love to do meme therapy. I would be honored.
Yeah, dude. I'll bring you on in a couple episodes. I have a couple other guests, but yeah. And then if you have any questions about like stuff, like I'll ask you some questions about like podcasts too, because I'm only on like 8. Well, I haven't uploaded anything. I only have like 1 episode recorded, so I'm trying to stack up like 3 and then release them all at the same time.
Yeah, just start releasing them.
I need to start editing them because I'm like trying to do parts. I do. I need I need good like it's one of those creative things. I'm like I need before because like I'll record it live, but then I need to like section it into like specific ones so it's digestible and like has like the narrative I want or whatever.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. Yeah, the reason I don't edit is because I tried to make it as simple as possible because I know if I kept it simple, I'd stick with it.
Yeah.
So if it's literally just start recording, text you, are you ready? Let's go. And when it's finished, I stop recording and I just have to upload it and then I put it on an external. Because it's so simple, I know I'll stick with it. If every day I was like, I know I'd have to edit it for 3, I would have stopped on episode 2. But
yeah,
I did that and I did an Excel spreadsheet. Literally, date in one column, number of episodes in the next, and subscribers in the next. And literally the first was like episode 1 subscriber. And just, so whenever I start to get down or depressed, I just look back and I'm like, okay, it's still going up. It's still going up slowly but surely. And yeah, it's, that's all I got. But yeah. All right, man. I'll text you. Thank you very much for doing it. Marcus Cardona. And hey, send me any links you want me to put in like the description.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent you a link, just something for you to watch while you play Far Cry. It'll be fun. Okay. But yeah, I'll send you links. It's just going to be my social media, but I'll plug myself right now. You can follow me on all social media, Instagram, Twitter. Instagram and Twitter at Marcus Cardona, and then on Facebook, official Marcus Cardona. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I have like a Patreon too, Marcus Cardona. But yeah, we're all figuring this out. Everyone stay safe.
Yeah, Cardona, Cardona for everyone, right? Yeah, and I was gonna say, I saw one of your. I'll let you. I saw one of your screenshots, but you had a fantastic fucking Twitter name. I don't know if it's still the same. There's Make Laugh, Make Love, Make.
McLive, McLaugh, McLovin.
That was fantastic. I saw that, and that cheered up my day. It was like a week and a half ago. I think that's when I messaged you. I saw that, and I was like, "That's awesome." And like that cheered up my day. I saw that. I was like, "That's so cool." Especially again, sororities, fraternities. Every sorority girl that's stamped on their living room wall. Like, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. Marcus Cardona, I will link all of your shit. Thank you very much for doing it, man. And yeah, fucking do another one, man. Stay sane.
Yeah, you too, man. Bye.
All right, buddy. Peace.